by the Speaker to the whole House and to the concerned parties, then we will have both parties make their introductions. They will be given time to make an introduction. That is of the County Assembly of Meru, which is representing the County Assembly and their council, if any. And of course, we will also see the introduction of the Governor of Meru County and the council representing the Governor, if any. Just to make a clarification here is that on Saturday, the deadline for the submissions from both parties was reached, and both parties complied with with making of their submissions. In this case, submissions, we're looking at if there are any evidence that the accusers or the County Assembly have, if there are any sworn affidavits, if there are any personal statements, maybe from witnesses, any possible transaction documents with regards to the accusations that they had made, and of course any evidence that they deem important in making their accusations valid, in this case before the Senate, and of course from the Governor also too made their submission. In this case, any evidence that will be countering the accusations that have been made against it, and of course any other evidence that the particular party or the council will deem fit to enable it absolve the Governor of the accusations that have been leveled against her. So once the hearing starts, then the Speaker will set the rules of the House on how the whole process will be taking place today and tomorrow. And of course, the two parties, that is the County Assembly and the Executive, will be given their time, of course, to introduce themselves and any counsel, if any, that is their legal team that will be helping them in presenting or making their case, and on the other hand, also countering the accusations that have been leveled against the Governor. Standing Order 80 of the Senate, Part 3, indicates that the Governor shall have the right to appear and be represented before the Senate or a special committee during the investigations. Remember, in this case, the House resolved to go the plenary way. So in this case, the Governor will be appearing before the Senate, that is the whole House, that has 67 senators, and will be able to appear and be represented, in this case, of course, with her or the Executive's legal team during the investigations. So the House is currently on a brief break. Remember, earlier on, the House sat in a closed door session. Of course, remember, once the submissions were made on Saturday, the members also had the opportunity to interact with some of the submissions. And of course, this morning in the closed door session, they also further had an engagement with the submissions to familiarize themselves on what exactly the case entails, the accusations, and any evidence that has been presented. Of course, this is to give them that particular opportunity to be able to have a clear understanding of what will be discussed as the hearing begins. And of course, each and every member will have an opportunity to scrutinize what the County Assembly of Meru has leveled as accusations against the Governor in a way that they have resolved to have her removed from office. So that is part of what this sitting will be looking at. Remember, today is day one, and tomorrow will be the culmination of the hearings. And once the hearing is done, at the end of it, of course, we will have the members vote on each of the charges. 7 charges are facing the Governor, including misuse of funds, misappropriation of funds, and misuse of county resources, among other charges, but they are cumulatively 7, and in each of these accusations, then the county assembly, which is the one that resolved to have the governor removed from office, will be required or needed to give evidence to those accusations, and at the end of it, the senators or the House will see whether the accusations can be substantiated or not. And of course, there will be a communication from that point from the Speaker. This is not the first time Governor KAWIRA MWANGAZA is finding herself before the Senate answering to charges of misappropriation and misuse of county resources, or with regards to impeachment. This is the second time. In 2022, the month of December, the governor was at the Senate facing the first impeachment proposal that was also forwarded by the county assembly. In this case, that particular impeachment hearing was done by a committee, an 11-member committee, which on Tuesday members resolved that they will not be going the committee way, but they resolved to have the investigation be done at the plenary. There is the governor, Honorable KAWIRA MWANGAZA, already seated at the chambers. Remember, I told you that the official hearing has begun, and once the Speaker has set the rules on how the procedure will be done and the program of the hearing, then the two parties, that is the executive, Honorable KAWIRA MWANGAZA, and the council, if any, will be given an opportunity to introduce themselves so that the honorable members will know that this is the legal team that is representing the executive, as well as the county assembly will introduce themselves as with their council, so that the honorable members will also understand that this is the legal team that is representing the county assembly. So the governor has already taken her seat, of course, with the legal counsel, and we will also be able to see the team that is representing the county assembly. The legal team that will be representing the governor. There is Council Elisha Ongoya. I think we have seen him seated just near the governor. There is also Elias Mutuma. He's also one of those that we have just seen seated next to the governor. It's a list of 9 councils that have been forwarded to the Senate that will be representing the governor as the legal team. That is Elisha Ongoya and Elias Mutuma seated right next to the governor. I believe there is another group on this other side that is seated. Once we have their pictures, then we'll be able to identify them. The county assembly also has its representative in the legal team. If I could go through the whole list of the council that is representing the governor, is that there is also Duncan M. Okubasu, Brida N. Kimathi, Robert Mutembei, Batista Mwirigi, Anthony Mwenda, Collins Mwenda, as well as Branley Maingi. This one is an assistant to the legal team. But of course, once the introductions are made, then we will be able to, of course, see their faces as well as confirm their presence at the chambers in making their representation for the Honorable Governor. The side of the National Assembly is also present, and they have their legal team as well that will be helping the county assembly to prove or make valid their accusations, of course, with the help of any evidence that they have if there are any witnesses or if there are any sworn affidavits, then this is the time that we will be seeing them presenting before the senators. Remember, the senators have already interacted with the submissions that were made by the both parties on what exactly entails of the case, what evidence there is, and what counter evidence there is from the executive, that is the governor, that will be presented before the Senate this morning. So once the case begins or the hearing begins, then these two parties will be making public their evidence, as well as any other material that will be used by either parties to help this particular case move on. At the entrance of the chamber, as you've seen, one side is the governor seated, and on the other side is the county assembly. Of course, representatives, or should we say supporters of either parties, have also been allowed at the speaker's gallery. They will be following up the hearing. In this particular case, we have been seeing this happening once a governor or a deputy governor is brought before the Senate to answer to accusations that are leading to his or her impeachment or removal from office. Then there is usually a group of supporters that come along or tag along with their leaders or with the party that they are leaning towards. And of course, we have these two parties that are already present at the speaker's gallery to follow keenly on what the particular case will be addressing and of course dealing with. So currently members are coming back into the chambers from a short break or a brief break after a closed door session with the speaker. They have been familiarizing themselves with the documents that were submitted before the office of the clerk at the Senate by Saturday. And of course, they are now aware of what is being said by both parties and will be able to scrutinize the allegations or the accusations one by one in a very keen manner. Remember, all senators will be participating in this case because the hearing is done the plenary way. The speaker, all right, members going back to their seats, allow me to hand you over as the speaker is leading this hearing. Good morning.
Senator Wafula, take your seat. We need to proceed. Now, honorable senators, Senator Karen and Senator Wafula. Honorable Shakila, you can still proceed and take your seat. Senator Mazayo and Mogeni, I will allow you this time around to walk and take your seat while I'm on my feet. Thank you. Now, honorable senators,